and my experience with work I'm going to... Ugh. Yeah. Guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about work experience and trying to link it to writing my personal statement. Yeah, I'm just going to go in order of the work experience I've had, and I'm also going to include my volunteering and any other things I've done that could be useful to mention. I didn't mention all of this in my personal statement because you don't have that much room and you have to kind of mention the things that are most important to you. I'll try and do my best to link my work experience to writing a personal statement, and I'll tell you also about how I got the work experience as well, and hopefully it'll help you out if you're trying to look for work experience or if you're stuck on how to link your work experience to your personal statement. So my first ever work experience I had was in year 10. At that time I didn't know what I wanted to be. I worked at a kids cafe and I basically had to look after kids and serve food as well. So I was a waitress slash babysitter. I didn't really enjoy it because I had to kind of just look after kids, and sometimes kids can be a handful, and that was non-paid, so I got it through my school in the work experience weeks that you have. This isn't work experience, but it's an experience that would be important to mention in your personal statement. So I did Duke of Edinburgh Silver Award in year 11. Trying to use a compass and a map in a group of 5 in the middle of a field, trying to orientate yourself and have everyone just going on at you. And yeah, we got lost a few times as well, so that definitely did teach me a lot of teamworking and leadership skills, and that's something that's really important in a healthcare professional, whether you're applying for dentistry, medicine, anything. Teamwork and leadership skills are one of the main things that people look for. Duke of Edinburgh taught me that. How I got into it was my school was doing the scheme. You just need to go and talk to someone, like for example a teacher or someone who's actually running it, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, so I would definitely recommend getting involved if your school does have that. Okay, and then when I went to sixth form I got my first part-time job at Kumon, and that's where you help and you teach children from the age of like 4 to, I don't know, like 14. It was really good because I got to interact with children and learn how to communicate with them, and it's not always easy. I learned a lot of teaching skills as well, which is really important again if you're wanting to be a dentist or anything along those lines. It's really important to be a good teacher. I did that and I definitely mentioned it in my personal statement. I got that through a friend, so I just popped in and spoke to the manager and I had a little interview and she employed me. But you can go online, go onto the Kumon website, see where Kumon runs in the areas around you, and you can just get in touch with the managers and set up an interview. It's not really full-on teaching or anything like that, so it's definitely easy to get. Then I also did voluntary work at a care home for elderly people with Alzheimer's disease, and that was really, really challenging. It was really scary at first. The people that were there, they were really lovely, but they were really confused, and you know, watching them be taken care of and you know, sitting down with them and having a chat, learning about their past, and some of them literally thought they were teenagers and some of them had no idea where they were. Some of them were fine. They told me about their experiences in the war and things like that, and that stuff really interests me, so it was a really good experience. I did mention that in my personal statement as well. I talked about how it taught me patience. It's really difficult to talk to someone who is going through all those things, has hearing problems or Alzheimer's, so yeah, it is really hard, and it definitely taught me patience. It also taught me to be more empathetic, because before that I just see like elderly people on the street, I wouldn't really think much of it, but after getting to know these people, it just taught me it takes a lot to look after them, and it's really stressful for them as well to be going through all of that, and these skills are something you really need if you're going to be interacting with people every day. You don't know what these people are like, you don't know anything about them, so you have to really keep an open mind and be able to work with them and be empathetic towards them. I knew a friend who volunteered there, so I got in touch with the manager of the nursing home, and he was really friendly. He just invited me over to have a look and have a chat, and then he said I could start the week after. So you really just have to get out there and talk to people, and it's really not that hard to get work experience. I've also raised money for cancer research and World Challenge. I didn't really mention the raising money thing in my personal statement because I didn't really have the space to mention that. It wasn't really one of my priorities to talk about it. But yeah, that was definitely a lot of interaction with the public. You get to see different sides of the public, I guess. I just applied online. There's a lot of charities looking for help, so literally just go online and have a look at what they have to offer and see what you can offer them. But yeah, so World Challenge, just like Duke of Edinburgh, taught me teamwork and leadership, but most importantly it taught me how to communicate with people that aren't from where I'm from and that are on different financial levels. Like, I worked with people that were much less privileged than I am, and they have a different culture to me. It was a really rewarding experience. I got told by someone that World Challenge doesn't look that good on personal statements because you're paying to go abroad to go and help out people, and it's not that impressive. Okay, it might not be that impressive, but I can tell you I had the time of my life. I learned so much from it, how to communicate with people, how to overcome language barriers. You will be doing that in your daily life if you're going to be going through the route of dentistry, because yeah, you come across people that don't speak the same language as you. You might have to give instructions to people that don't understand you. Having experiences like this are really important. If you don't enjoy these experiences, I wouldn't recommend doing dentistry because it's a big part of it. So yeah, I definitely included this in my personal statement, and I think it did stand out a lot because these are the important qualities that universities look for when going through personal statements. World Challenge, I went with my school. I had to kind of apply for it through the school, saying why I should be chosen to do World Challenge. I think you can do it outside of school as well, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I got picked to do it and I'm so glad I did because it was just an amazing experience. I also did a few first aid courses while I was at school, and it taught me a lot about thinking on your feet, thinking fast, which is really important in dentistry, and that is something I mentioned in my personal statement because again, it's one of the qualities that stand out. And it's just a really good skill to have in general, even if you don't get into dentistry or don't want to do dentistry or medicine, whatever. And it's one of the first things you need to know. I don't know about other schools, but at my uni, in the first few months, we had to learn the basic first aid and pass the test for that. I also performed at school events and charity events, and again, I mentioned that in my personal statement, because it shows that apart from concentrating on dentistry or your course that you're doing, you're actually a really good student as well, and obviously the university would like students that want to get involved. And yeah, I just did that by auditioning at school and getting in touch with the people who set up these events. And then I did work experience at a dental surgery, and it was both private and NHS. I didn't really see that much private work while I was there. What I did is I took a diary with me. It's better just to write something down instead of just watch, because you will forget most of what you saw. So what I did is every patient that came in, I just wrote down what they would say to the dentist and how the dentist would react depending on who the patient is or what treatment they need. Do mention that you did work experience and the things you learnt from it. Apart from all the standard things that you learn if you shadow a dentist, you need to know how dental practices actually work and if you would be happy in that environment. And I know some people who wanted to do dentistry, but once they entered that environment, shadowing or starting their course even, they didn't really like it. So definitely you do need to do work experience, not just because of your personal statement and the university, but for yourself as well. I went to Thailand with Gap Medics, and I've mentioned that I think in my previous videos as well. So I shadowed dentists for 2 weeks. I saw orthodontics, I saw root canal treatments, I saw extractions. It was really good. There was definitely a contrast between Thailand and Britain, and I mentioned that in my personal statement, and I think that really stood out. I couldn't share this experience on my personal statement because it was too long, but basically what happened is while I was there and an extraction was going on, the electricity went out, and whilst I was shadowing this dentist, he had to get the nurse to go and get help from other dentists and get this tooth out because it was really in there. And yeah, just that whole experience of seeing the electricity go out and the patient just panicking and the dentist, 3 of them, trying to help take this tooth out. It's something amazing, and I'm really glad that I got to witness it. I also worked at a GP surgery as a receptionist. I'm still actually working there now during the holidays. The way I actually got this job was through my friend's mum, so yeah, sometimes it helps to have links as well. I did mention this in my personal statement because it taught me about the admin side of the NHS, and obviously you interact with healthcare professionals, GPs, nurses, every day, so you really learn about things from their side and their point of view, and you interact with the patient, so you learn things from the patient's point of view, and obviously your admin stuff, so you learn things about admin side of it. If you can get an experience like that, it really helps. And even now that I've started uni, I just feel like I know a little bit more than everyone else about the NHS and about how it works. I even know things like what medications are used for what, and it's just nice to have that head start, I guess. I also learnt about patient confidentiality, which I didn't take as seriously before that. Communicating with members of the public, again, that don't speak the same language as you, or are deaf or elderly. You can get a lot of difficult patients that I've really learnt to deal with, so definitely really good to have these experiences. I think that's it for now. So like I said in my previous video, if you are in the position where you are taking a gap year, just take advantage of it. I've definitely taken advantage of my gap years. I've been traveling, I've worked, I've just gained so many skills. So don't be disheartened if you don't get into dentistry the first time, because there's a lot you can learn, and I already know what working life is like, and going to uni now makes me appreciate it a lot more. Everything happens for a reason, so if you are taking a gap year, it's not all bad, definitely. You can gain a lot of good experiences. I think that's it for this video. It might be a bit long because I tried to link it as much as I could to what you could include in your personal statement. Just remember, everything you do, you need to really think about what you're learning from it. Okay, so I hope that helped, and if you have any questions about how to get work experience or how to relate your work experience to your personal statement, then you can comment below or get in touch with me. And if you have your own experiences to share, please do.